Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 843, and it will be a little bit short, but also at least there's one highlight that made this day a little bit more exciting, especially for Irish standards and for recent days that we had since the Christmas time. Most of you that follow the project and the podcast and read the blog posts, you know that we have a small business that we were operating for quite a streak of 12 days in a row between Christmas and the 5th of January. And that was gone, and yesterday I reported on a very dull day, but this day was necessary for us to pause and recover a little bit mentally and physically. So that's why nothing was really happening on that day, except for just Julian returned to school. And Tuesday, today wasn't much different in terms of a start because, again, Julian went to school, so we dropped him there, and then we drove to Resnowla and visited our friends in the bakery shack, got some coffee and scones, and drove down to the beach, specifically beside the hotel, the Soundhouse Hotel, to the car park, and we sat down there and just enjoyed the scones in the car with the coffee while watching the ocean. And later on, we drove to the beach on the other side of where the main entrance is, where we actually operate with the sauna in the quieter side of the beach. We left the car there, and it was probably the first time for a while that we went for a long walk together with Elizabeth while Julian was at school. And it was lovely weather. We thoroughly enjoyed it. The tide was, I think it was retreating a little bit already. So we were able to go as far as Rosnawla Lower, which is another beach, and you can just basically follow the shore and get there very quick, well, like very easily. And we had a nice chat around different things, which was great to have, between us. So we enjoyed the walk and went back home. And then we kind of settled with our things, so not much was happening. But the main highlight of the day was that when I went to pick Julian from school, I came up with the idea because I saw the snow in the mountains, on the horizon, in Dartry Mountains and both in BlueStacks. And also from our estate, we could see some snow coverage in the nearby hills near the wind farm. So I came up with the idea to ask Julian if he wants to go straight after school and just check on that area for a couple of minutes before the sunset. And surprisingly, Julian agreed, because normally he wants to go straight home, but he was kind of excited. It's not very common that we get snow in Ireland in general, so it's very unusual. It happens every day in high part of the mountains, but it's not very accessible for most of the people unless it's a big snowfall across Ireland, which is very rare. So we drove there, and we had to park the car, reverse and park the car earlier on beside the community hall in Legani, because the hill was already slippery, and I was afraid that with our BMW that is rear wheel drive and quite heavy, it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to get off the sliding scenario if we were to start having troubles. So we returned to the community center, we parked the car there, and we walked all the way to the entrance of the wind farm and kept climbing up. So there was very little snow, mostly icy kind of road and a little bit of powdery snow, but as I said, you could almost see through that layer of snow, so you could see the ground. So it was just dark, kind of, or I would say brighter or whiter ground rather than the snow coverage. But as we kept climbing, we got more and more and more snow. So at some stage, we went to the point where nobody was walking on the trail or driving from the maintenance crew towards the windmills. So it was completely white, untouched, not even animal tracks in there. So it was just amazing to be there with Julian and kind of, do the snowballs, start throwing at ourselves. And then later on, we did the slow motion videos. First, Julian went under the trees, or I did go to the trees and started kind of, pulling the branches to get snow over me while he was filming the slow motion. And then we just changed, and I was filming him. So that was just a so magical moment to have with Julian, because we, as I said, we rarely have snow in Ireland, and the only snow really that we enjoyed together was when the beast from the east, as they call it, a big snow blizzard, came over Ireland in, I think, 2018 or something. So it was a long time ago, and now we were able to at least, to play around with snowballs and whatever. I enjoyed some snow when hiking up the Errigal Mountain last year, but that was just myself. So this was a nice father and son time, which I really appreciate, and it was cool to do that. So that was really the highlight of the day. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope tomorrow will be a little bit more exciting, but I don't know. I'm not expecting anything, so I'm worried that it might be a dull day, but we'll see tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon or evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Stay tuned and see you again.